Okay, happy Tuesday. So here's the deal. You're starting to write now, you're generating 3 to 5 possible subtopics, and you're starting to bang out all these ideas. But I think there are some things that might appear on your page that will help you be as clear as possible. So you're probably like, okay, I don't know what she's talking about. Okay. Um, so let me go to my this. Okay. So last week I had or last yesterday rather, I showed you I had my informational writing planning page with my subtopic, I don't know what to wear, it's too hot or too cold. And I started thinking about running and my running gear and using an opinion, a definition, explanation, or a comparing and contrasting idea to support my sentences. And so now I've got like all these sentences on a piece of paper. They sound good to me. But when I look at the paper that I have, there's this box at the top that says I should create an introduction sentence and a transition sentence. What is that? So I want to show you what I mean. I wrote my piece based on this. Here's my informational writing planning page, my subtopic. I don't know what to wear. It's too hot or too cold. And this is the general idea of what I wanted to say. So I took that, those are my notes, and I turned it into this. Generally speaking, you'll want good running shoes and socks. You'll need leggings or shorts with pockets for your keys and your phone. You'll have to decide if you will wear a long sleeve shirt or a short sleeve shirt, or if you'll wear a tank top with no sleeves. Depending on the weather, some runners prefer to wear as little as possible for the best performance. Hats, winter and summer. That doesn't make any sense. Hats in the winter and summer will keep your head protected. You may like gloves as well. And for the ladies, a nice collection of sports bras. Shop at running stores for these will help. And finally, don't forget your rain gear. It will be your best investment yet, especially if you are not a fan of running in the rain. And you're probably like, what are those arrows there for? And why is this colored? So I started thinking about this box, and it says to use partner sentences. I chose to use an explanation. That's what's in red. So when I said you will have to decide if you will wear a long sleeve shirt or a short sleeve shirt, or if you will wear a tank top with no sleeves, I decided to explain what that means. So, depending on the weather, some runners prefer to wear as little as possible for the best performance, is sort of an explanation of what I mean when I say you'll have to decide whether you want to wear long or short sleeve shirts. Kind of depends on the weather. But I'm thinking about this introduction sentence and this transition sentence to get me into my next subtopic. So I think my next it's going to be next subtopic or maybe even my next paragraph. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to write another paragraph because I'm going to write a paragraph about it being too hot or too cold. So I'm going to go back to this. And my last sentence says, and finally, don't forget your rain gear. It'll be your best investment yet, especially if you are not a fan of running in the rain. And my final sentence is going to be, speaking of weather, what if it's too hot? My next paragraph is going to be all about it being hot. So you're having some questions about running in the heat and so forth. And now I'll go into this whole paragraph that is about it being hot. Lightweight clothing, hats and visors, and carrying a water bottle. I'll put that in that next paragraph. It also says that I should create an introduction sentence. And that introduction sentence should link to the previous transition. But in my case, there was no previous transition. This is the first thing that I'm writing in my book. I just want to have a nice introductory sentence that launches this general idea. So this is what I came up with. When you get outside to run, and maybe inside as well, I'll put it right here. When you get out, I'm going to have to make it a little bit smaller now. So my first sentence is going to be, when you get outside to run, and maybe inside as well, you need certain gear to help your performance. Okay. And then I'm going to go into all of this, generally speaking. So I basically started my paragraph with this nice little, introductory sentence that I just added, and all of this would be filled in with all of this writing. So now my introduction sentence, which looks like this, which now is in green, says, when you get outside to run, and maybe inside as well, you need certain gear to help your performance. Generally speaking, you'll want good running shoes and socks. Yada, yada, yada. And at the very end of all that, and finally, don't forget your rain gear. It'll be your best investment yet, especially if you're not a fan of running in the rain. And speaking of weather, what if it's too hot? So you're having some questions about running in the heat. Now I'll go on to my next paragraph. The idea, my friends, is that when you write for the optimum clarity, you want to make sure that you introduce what you're saying. So you're going to introduce whatever these things are that you're going to say in your subtopics with some kind of an introduction sentence. You're going to use facts, and this whole thing is all facts. You're going to use partner sentences. That means a sentence here and there that will explain what you're writing about so that your sentences don't fall off the wagon. And you're going to also use transition sentences to get you in and out of your paragraphs. All right. This is here for you for a reason, not to ignore. So while you're writing, say, all right, I'm going to start with an introduction sentence. I'm going to write. Oh, did I throw in a partner sentence in there? Let me do that before I finish. And then move out of that sentence and into the next paragraph. All right. If we're in school, I'm going to walk around and help you. If you're at home, you can absolutely lean in, reach out, come into school. If you do come into school, prepared with questions, and also for Mr. LaRocco, if you're in cohort D. All right. Good luck. We'll see you and talk to you soon.